I call this one the end of world prayer. Dear God, I went to school and took my tests, but I never felt much better, even when I scored amongst the best. And now those people on the street, they test me with their eyes, and I never look away. I never look away. I would stare at the sun until I go blind. I don't care if there's a moral or an answer to find. Dear God, give me a sign. Test. Innocence is a woman tied to the tracks of a freight train screaming, reality is steel. We must have got a raw deal. How did such sad, perfect children grow into such sad, perfect us? It's like sometimes it seems so unfair, but other times it seems more than enough. Dear God, you sent me some wisdom in the form of a girl, and I apologize for everyone. I'm sorry for what we've done to your world. But I would stare at her eyes until I go blind. And I don't care if there's a moral or an answer to find. You know, I once aced this test on natural selection, but it didn't improve my chance of survival. Dear God, should we kill all our rivals? I watched our towers of hubris fall under the weight of our hate, and we gave power to power and never stopped to debate. As God whispers love, we drop bombs from above. Our safety is handcuffs. We've clipped the wings of the dove. And our commandments were broken. We left our freedoms behind. So let me tell you something about intelligent design. I would stare at her eyes until I go blind. Dear God, this is real life, and I don't have time for fairy tales, because beauty doesn't sleep or wait to be saved, and love doesn't come in on shiny white horses, brandishing a sword. Dear God, I'm bored of those lies. See, I have become a victim of a divine and cosmic wisdom. The people of power are content with repetition. Wanting more and more, they become obsessed with again and again. But the beauty of beauty rests in always. I am no longer concerned with simple addition, gluttonous, clutterous sums relying on that foolish concept lie, ownership. The only thing we can ever really know revels in an actual product. Because the secret of love is that while 1 + 1 is merely and unmysteriously 2, 1 by 1, me by you, is delightfully, gloriously, a greater, grander one. Everywhere and always, nothing is brighter than love. And I would stare at her eyes until I go blind. But as God whispers love, we drop bombs from above. God bless America, propaganda, and petroleum. Dear God, is this life just a test? Does it matter if we're failing? Dear God, people, can we please stand hand in hand, 1 by 1, by greater, grander one, make love the first choice, because the people of power are trying to silence your voice. And if history's dead civilians are something that the appeasers don't notice, then stand up together and like some modern day Moses with the 1 by 1 by 1 by 1 voice that God gives, say, let our people live. Because love does not brandish a sword. And we have tied innocence to the tracks of a speeding test train. This has been a test of the emergency broadcast system. Were this an actual emergency, the sun would fall from the sky, my prayers would fall on deaf ears, and beauty would fall asleep. I would grab my angel and stick her in a knapsack and run through the crumbling cliffs of oblivion, screaming, dear God, someone has to save innocence, someone has to set the doves free. Empty hearts would turn into nuclear missiles, and I would stamp a big red F on the hate of mankind, take out my angel and stare at her eyes until I go blind, saying, dear God, I tried. Dear God, tell the people of power not to test me anymore. I'm fed up. And anyway, it'll do no good. There's only one thing I will ever know, and I won't look away. The truth is inside you, above you, around you. It will find you and love you, engulf and surround you.